The Hovermatt is a patient transfer device that will allow you to transfer the patient from the floor or from a bed to the hover jack, which is another device we'll be looking at in a little bit. So the first device we're talking about today is the Hovermatt. It's got a weight limit of 600 pounds, and we'll use this device to transfer the patient from the floor to the hover jack device that we'll look at here in a little bit. The first thing that you can do to help prep the patient for the crews that are coming out to assist you with this is to use the Mega Mover that is carried on all of the EMS units in the county. Once the patient is on the Mega Mover, they will be log rolled and the Hovermatt device will be slid underneath the Mega Mover and the patient. We leave a little bit of extra slack in the straps as we connect the patient to the device so that as the device inflates, it doesn't put pressure on the patient with the straps. We then connect the vacuum device to the Hovermatt with a snap and a Velcro strap. The vacuum is limited to the length of extension cord that you have, and the reason that it becomes important with this device is that the air always has to be operating to slide the patient around on this device. So the vacuum is always on the entire time we're using this device. We then secure the patient once the device is inflated, and we're ready to transfer the patient. So once our patient is on the Hovermatt, we're going to use the Hovermatt to transfer them to the hover jack. This is a lifting and transferring device that we'll be looking at here in a minute. The Hovermatt is continuously being flown with air by the air pump as we transfer them over. And if we are transferring a patient to the hover jack with the hover jack completely inflated, an example of that would be if we're transferring them from a hospital bed to the hover jack to move them out of the room, then it's important that we try to keep the Hovermatt at an angle as we transfer the patient. Our natural tendency in moving patients is to move the patient horizontally from the bed to the hover jack. On the floor, that's an acceptable method, but if we're moving to an already inflated hover jack, that may cause the patient to roll off of the hover jack. So the preferred method is to either go feet first or head first and transfer the patient to the hover jack at an angle.